Here we go. It is the starting grid for the KA100, 145 and 155 final. Starting on pole position, he's one step away from taking the 145 title. And I know his Aunt Helena is watching. Mick Blankerspoor from the Netherlands starts on pole. Otto Matagne brings himself right into the battle for the best of the rest, I think, alongside on the front row. Keep your eyes on Kiana Joly-Optov. She starts on the inside of row number 2 with Felix de Decker alongside. Paul Hersin, Thibault Wolfout ran at row 3. Ahead of Tuan Kerman, the 155 ranking after heat's leader, picking up a maximum score of 80 points, which puts him ahead of a man a little bit further down the grid. Leopold Ferman on P8, ahead of Emil Dwenings with Ids Postumus on row 5, completing the top 10. Tommy Sommers, Timio Rifla, Maurice Istas, Yannick Schmidt, Enzo Vituli, Mika Kolokovic, Sana Ben Nasser, Rafael Parash and Paul Hornung round out your grid. So, once again, this will be a longer race. It's 14 minutes plus an additional lap, as the drivers will take to the formation. Now, the big thing is, Maurice Istas needs to win 155, and he needs Tuan Kerman to finish second. He needs to beat Tuan Kerman on the road. No penalties. He will win 155. Blankerspoor, we've seen this weekend, Simon, has been the tour de force of the overall rankings in this. And if he takes this win, that'll be 5 maximum scores, and he will be unassailable at all. The minute he crosses that line, he gets that whole shot start, watch him go away into the distance, and he'll pick up the title with relative ease. But it's everyone else behind. The likes of Vituli, the likes of Matagne, the likes of Helsan, the likes of De Decker. And I put it that Matagne puts himself effectively second by way of calculating the points. At least there's no drop scores to contend with this one, and with 155. So it is down to Mick Blankerspoor to lead the field away from the time the red lights go out. But it should be a great way to end the Iame Series Benelux portion of KA100's very own Super Cup that's been happening all the way through the year. But for us here at Iame Series Benelux, it's been great to have KA100 back for a second successive season.
Allez, c'est parti pour cette finale KA100 avec un homme à battre, Mick Blankerspoor. Il est déjà assuré du titre, a priori, ce pilote. En tout cas, il est très très bien parti pour aller s'imposer, même si on doit prendre en considération tous les résultats dans cette catégorie. KA100 145 et KA100 155. Le très bon départ de Mick Blankerspoor. Le bon départ aussi d'Arthur Matagne qui conserve sa 2e place. Derrière, c'est un peu plus mouvementé pour la 3e position notamment. Attention à ne pas aller s'accrocher. On a récupéré tout le monde dans ce peloton. On sait que tout à l'heure, lors de l'une des manches qualificatives, ça avait été très très agité. Attention, on a plusieurs pilotes qui se sont accrochés. Certains sont partis en tête à queue. On avait ici à l'image Paul Hersin, Tuan Kerman aussi dans cette bagarre. Et on vous le disait tout à l'heure que l'une des manches qualificatives avait été très mouvementée, notamment au départ et au premier et 3e virage, avec notamment le nouveau venu de cette catégorie, Timeo Riflar, qui avait été impliqué dans un accrochage. Et bien ici, rebelote avec d'autres concurrents cette fois. Et regardez déjà l'écart creusé par Mick Blankerspoor. Derrière, eh bien, c'est la grosse bagarre avec cette fois-ci Kiana Joly-Optov qui a pris la 2e position devant Arthur Matagne, attaqué maintenant par Yannick Smith.
Well, no, because there's an error.
Ah non, Felix de Decker.
Felix de Decker. Paul Hersin rounds out the top 5. I think we had Paul Hornung actually retired after the start. So there are movers and shakers up the order, but Mick Blankerspoor is away and clear. So Kiana Joly-Optov. I did say watch out for the 741, and she's made good her intentions, which means that effectively Arthur Matagne ends up currently being 3rd in the class at the moment as things stand. Behind that, Felix de Decker will be P4. Then you've got Paul Hassan, P5. That's 70 points. Enzo Vitulli needs to get a little bit of a wriggle on at the moment, to be honest with you. But after the opening 2 laps, Mick Blancaspor has said, right, goodbye, everybody. See you soon. And at the meantime, there could be a change for second in 1:55 because Tommy Sommers is up at 5 places, leads the class. But more importantly, Maurice Istaz, I think, might have just gotten through on Twan Kerman. And if that is the case, it goes level on points. And Twan Kerman has 3 maximum scores. If that goes to countback. So what now needs to happen? And there is Twan Kerman. There is Maurice Istas. They are fighting. And Twan Kerman knows he's got to stay ahead of Maurice Istas to pick up the 155 title. Game on!
Oui, la bagarre pour la victoire et le titre dans la catégorie K100 entre Twan Kerman et Maurice Istas. On sait que le pilote belge a été légèrement retardé dans ses manches qualificatives avec une très mauvaise surprise en deuxième partie de manche qualificative dans la seconde manche. En fait, il avait été contraint d'avoir un mauvais résultat. Conséquence, il s'était lancé d'un peu plus loin sur cette grille de départ et du coup, il était derrière Twan Kerman. Ce qui fait pour l'instant le maximum de points pour Twan Kerman en manche qualificative. Et donc ici, c'est une lutte qui les oppose directement. On l'a dit, dans cette catégorie K100, tous les résultats seront comptabilisés. Et donc forcément, c'est important de le mentionner parce qu'on n'a pas le droit à l'erreur dans cette compétition, dans ce championnat.
The biggest problem is that now Maurice Istas is losing ground. He has lost ground after that clash with Twan Kerman. Because Enzo Vitulli and Yannick Schmidt, she got through on Maurice Istas in the melee that happened. So now Istas has got 9 minutes and 50 seconds plus an additional lap. Now is the time for Maurice Istas to look at plan B, which is strategize, get the most out of the kart without overdriving it, taking the hell of the life out of the tyres, and make your move when it is required. That is what Maurice Istas is going to have to do, but he is only 3.5 tenths behind Twan Kerman. Yannick Schmidt is ahead of him, but only by a fraction. So you've got second, third and fourth in KA100 155 kilos, but then they've got a big gap up to Tommy Sommers, who is leading the class. At the moment, I make it 458 Kerman, 450 Istas. At the moment, Mick Blancaspor will win the title by more than 35 points in KA100 145 kilo. So now it's about Maurice Istas getting on with things and go for broke. Now he's got to go for it.
La bagarre pour la deuxième position ici à l'image avec Arthur Matagne qui met la pression sur Keanu Yoli Optoff. Et derrière, Félix De Decker est en spectateur de luxe, de même que Paul Hersin. Ouais, ce sont tous des pilotes qui se battent aussi pour le podium final du championnat. Ouais, donc c'est plus qu'une bagarre pour la deuxième position de cette finale, où on retrouve les best of the rest ici, puisque seul sur sa planète, c'est Mick Blancaspor qui est bien parti pour aller décrocher une nouvelle victoire en finale, la 3e consécutive. Et puis derrière, cette magnifique bagarre pour la 2e place de la finale, mais surtout la 2e place du championnat qui se joue entre Paul Hersin, Félix De Decker et Arthur Matagne. Ils sont dans le désordre pour l'instant au classement. Arthur Matagne 3e devant Félix De Decker et Paul Hersin. Très belle bagarre. Et puis on suit toujours cette bagarre dans la catégorie K100 155 avec pour l'instant c'est Tommy Sommers qui mène la danse. Mais au niveau du championnat, on suit la bagarre entre Twan Kerman et Maurice Istas. C'est entre ces deux-là que tout va se jouer.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that Maurice Istas might be planning a good strategy. Stay behind the drivers in front and then at the right place, right time, pick them off one by one. Make the moves, very, very importantly, and you know this, if you're battling for a championship, you need to make sure that those moves are clean, 100% clean. You've got the job done. You haven't had a bit of contact. That is what Maurice Sistaz has done, and he's got through on Yannick Schmidt already. So now he's got his chief rival right where he wants him, right in front of him. And now the gap drops to 6 points. 458 plays 452. If Maurice Sistaz gets through, that changes it to that count-back situation. So what that will then mean is that if Maurice Sistaz clears Twan Kerman, he's got to go after Timio Riflot and then pass Tommy Sommers to win the class overall to take the title. At the moment, Kerman is exactly where he needs to be. It's Sistaz that is now on the back foot.
Oui, et pendant ce temps-là, la bagarre toujours pour cette deuxième position du classement général. Arthur Matagne qui est repassé en deuxième position. Kiana Yolioptov qui se fait désormais dépasser par Félix de Decker et peut-être par Paul Hersin dans la foulée. Non, elle résiste à Paul Hersin, mais par contre, elle a vu passer devant elle la pilote néerlandaise. Deux pilotes. Arthur Matagne dans un premier temps, Félix de Decker dans la foulée. Ah, ça s'anime aussi à ce niveau-là. Et si je regarde un petit peu les points marqués virtuellement par tous ces pilotes, ouais, pour l'instant, on aurait un avantage pour Arthur Matagne pour la deuxième place.
Right. First move has happened. And look, Timio Riflot has got through on Tommy Sommers. Maurice Sistaz is one place away from getting into the lead of the class. Let's see if we can pick up the 753. He's running at the moment in 11th position. He'll just be coming across the line momentarily. And he should be doing round about, I would say now. Maurice Sistaz now is 10th. He is now leading the class. Twan Kerman has dropped. Twan Kerman, I don't know if he's got through the first sector, but did Twan Kerman have a problem? That means Maurice Sistaz, at the minute, with 80 points, leading the class. That puts him in championship winning position.
Oui, du changement virtuellement en tout cas pour la première place du classement dans la catégorie K100
And there he is. He's got no one around him.
Oui, il est en train, il arrive là, Twan Kerman. Je pense. Il a eu un problème. Twan Kerman a eu un problème, ou en tout cas, il a été impliqué dans une touchette ou quoi que ce soit. Mais en tout cas,
or possibly something technical. You never
know.
Oui,
ou possible problème technique. Hein, mais en tout cas, il est retardé dans cette finale. Il a perdu tout le bénéfice.
He's still running though.
Oui, il est toujours là et il est juste devant en fait Mick Blanquesport qui revient sur lui. Mais donc, ce qui veut dire pour l'instant que c'est eh bien, c'est Maurice Sistaz qui récupère la première position de cette catégorie K100 155. Et ça a des répercussions sur le championnat, on vous le disait, puisque Maurice Sistaz devait terminer absolument devant Twan Kerman s'il voulait encore croire au titre. Et c'est ce qu'il a fait ici. Il n'y avait que 4 points d'écart entre ces deux-là au moment d'arriver ici à Mariembourg et il savait qu'il devait absolument le battre s'il voulait être sûr de décrocher ce titre. Et pour l'instant, c'est ce qu'il est en train de faire. Quel suspense à ce niveau-là. Quel suspense toujours pour le podium de cette finale. Avec cette fois-ci Félix de Decker qui doit défendre sa position par rapport à Kiana Yolioptov. Mais encore aussi face à c'est qui est là, Paul Hersin qui est là ou c'est, attendez, c'est
Paul Hersin est 6e.
Oui, c'est Léopold Fermen qui est revenu en fait dans cette bagarre pour le podium. C'est le pilote français. Ouais, il est bien remonté. 3 positions pour le pilote français qui va peut-être venir se mêler à cette bagarre. Oui, c'est vrai qu'en regardant dans ce classement tout ce qui se passait dans la catégorie K100 155, on a un peu perdu le fil dans cette bagarre.
Well, it was only going to be a matter of time, Simon, because it's a race within a race, and we try and keep as up to date as we can. But Mick Blanquesport is absolutely running away with this. He has done the job that he's needed to, and with a lead of 6.4 seconds, after 12 laps, and with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go, plus an additional lap, you would possibly say he's got it in the bag. But let me remind you of this. You could be going away with it all, and this is just me talking here. I've seen it before where someone's been leading and they get a problem or something happens. And call it a fate of circumstance. But Mick Blankensport has not put a foot wrong. However, this is starting to intensify, and it's not getting any easier out there for some of these drivers. Most notably, I think Paul Hauser amongst others. But we are a minute and a half to go, plus an additional lap of the KA100, 145 and 155 final. Still got 2 races to go, folks, so don't touch that dial. Stick with us live here on Iame Series Benelux YouTube and on Iame-motorsport.com. As now there is a move. That is Leopold Fermin through on Felix De Decker. And that is for 3rd position. They're side by side again. Changes a foot. And now into turn 3, it's happened again. Oh, but more dramas. Kiana Joly-Optov has made her intentions well and clear as she makes it piggy in the middle. Great job there by the young lady driver in the number 741. And they still are elbows out, knives are sharpened. So that is Kiana Joly-Optov past Leopold Fermin. And that has allowed Felix De Decker to get away. So the next lap completed by Mick Blankensport, which has just happened, brings us on to 2 laps to go. And he is leading by 7.1 seconds. Three wide at turn 2. Kiana Joly-Optov is the one that ends up being on the worst end of the stick, but she definitely fights back to reclaim her turf. But we are on our penultimate lap of the race. Mick Blankensport ahead of Arthur Matagne, who may be runner-up this season in KA100 after what has been a little bit of a topsy-turvy situation for the driver from Belgium. But this time around, we are going to get the final lap board for this race. Mick Blankensport comes across the start-finish line to start the last lap of the race. And I know that people in the Netherlands, including his aunt, Helena, are absolutely on the edge of their seat. This young man who showcased such prowess when I saw him at the Euro Cup at Le Mans last October. He didn't get through he got through to the final, retired during it, but Mick Blankensport is going to wrap this one up in style. At the opening round, maximum score of points, P3 after the qualifying heats at round 2, then went on to win the final. But here at Karting des Fans in Mariembourg, it is time to bring a new champion home in KA100 145 with a provisional score of 473 points. Mick Blankensport does the business here in Belgium. Arthur Matagne will cross the line and will provisionally be second in the championship standings. Leopold Fermin P3, Kiana Joly-Optov, Paul Hauser, it's posthumous, Timio Rifla, Enzo Vituli, and I've just noticed that in 10th position, provisionally, your 2025 KA100 155 kilo Iame Series Benelux champion is Maurice Easters in the 753. Emil Duerinks, Yannick Schmidt, Tommy Sommers, Rafael Pahash, Sana Ben Nassur, Mika Kolakovic, Twan Kurman, and Paul Hornung due to be the last of the classified finishers. Got 2 more drivers to cross the line, which they do now. Unfortunately, Thibaut Wolfert retired before the start of the race, but there are your provisional results for the final. Blancaspor takes the victory, becomes provisional KA100 145 kilo champion, and down in 10th, Morisistas from PJM provisionally secures the KA100 155 title. 2 finals down, 2 to go.